What's up, Otakus?
What the F is that?
It's me, Maronawa Lala, and we're back again for another episode.
Okay,
I swear to God, I'll punch you.
You said it's me, and we now said we are back again.
Introduce me Can you first. Just let me do this?
Alright, sorry, go again.
I'm not going again. I'm not going again.
Thank God, because I'm not going to cut this one.
Welcome to another episode of Otaku Scoop. What's up? Applaud. And of course, it's mandatory for me to introduce my co-host, even though I really don't want to.
It's not really mandatory. I mean, I will still talk and introduce myself even if you did. It's not in the rule book, which we definitely have.
Go ahead and introduce us. We don't have a rule book. Do we? I don't have it.
Well, you're not a serious podcaster. That just goes to show how seriously you take your job. Anywho, I'm Banana Warrior, as you guys probably already know. But if you're a new listener, then yes. My first name is Banana, my son name is Warrior.
He's from the warrior kingdom of bananas.
You just made it sound less believable. That sounds like something that would happen in One Piece.
Yes, it could totally happen in One Piece. And God, I would love the arc because the bad guy would just be a banana-shaped person who ate the banana fruit, even though banana is actually a fruit on its own. One Piece
is the only anime that can get away with that.
Yeah, and it'd be like, I ate the banana fruit. Everything I touch turns into a banana, and then they'd be like giant, hackified bananas flying at people.
I don't know. I feel like if Oda was listening to this podcast right now, he would love it,
and that would even be the main villain. Like you get to laugh.
He's the one with the One Piece.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, I am Banana Lord. I don't know. I love how creative One Piece are with their villains, which brings me back to the topic we were talking about last week, which is anime villains.
Yeah, if you notice, we probably didn't mention some of your favorite villains.
Yeah, and a lot of you would be like, "Oh, you didn't mention this person, you didn't mention that person."
You didn't mention that guy from what's the anime?
And speaking of One Piece, of course, when it comes to One Piece villains, we have been in a lot of arcs and we've met a lot of villains, but none of them can hold a candle to. I mean, I know a lot of you expected me to say Doflamingo.
Yeah, I think it's Doflamingo. I'm going to say.
It's not.
What's the name of that guy?
Arlong.
Oh, that guy.
I'm just saying, Arlong was one of the first main villains in One Piece. Like the first ones, the fishman who took over Kokoyashi village, Nami's village. And that arc was basically what made me look at One Piece and go, okay, I'm definitely going to watch every episode of this. When I first started watching One Piece, I saw like the number of episodes, like a normal human being would react. That is a lot of episodes. I'm probably going to drop this halfway. But after that arc, I realized I was not going to drop it. I did not like Arlong at all, which just goes to show that he was a great villain because he was that kind of villain that had me going, yeah, you're just a piece of shit and I really hope you die. And that's how you know a villain is great, when you hate them.
Yeah, I remember hating it too. That was like among the first episodes.
It's one of the first main villains in One Piece, and I'm like, okay, yeah. You see, when you see a guy like that, it makes you go,
with a saw-shaped nose.
God, I hate you. Especially when he asked Luffy, what's the difference between both of us? And Luffy was like, our noses? Luffy doesn't see race, so if you're black, just know Luffy would accept you.
Well, isn't his nose part of his race?
Yeah, but Luffy couldn't really differentiate between humans and people.
That's pretty racist.
It's not racist because Usopp also has a weird nose, and Luffy looks at noses like that. I mean, there was also that arc in What's a Seven when he saw Kaku for the first time, and he was like, "Is that Usopp?" Simply because he saw the long nose.
Sounds very racist to me.
Luffy doesn't see race. Let it go. I mean, Arlong as a villain is one of those people I will always hate because even when we made it to Fishman Island and we saw Arlong's backstory and people felt bad for him, I'm like, dude, fuck you. I still hate you. I don't care. I don't care what bad things you had to go through. I don't care that you were a slave. I don't care that my ancestors were slaves and I'm supposed to relate to you. Man, screw you.
That sounds very not woke of you, Lola. Shame on you. We'll cancel you on social media next Thursday.
Am I gonna get paid when I get cancelled? Does it come with anything?
Actually, that's a very valid question. Only one way to find out.
Yeah, feel free to cancel me.
But anywho, yeah, my favorite One Piece villain. Let me just put it out there that I have not watched One Piece up to
Dressrosa.
I've just finished Marineford after about 10 hours of Luffy running and screaming,
oh my god, that was the most annoying time.
I finished that last year and I decided I needed a break.
I said, okay, all this screaming has to count for something. All those spoilers I saw on the internet must have been a lie.
He's Chrome.
He's Graham.
He's Chrome and he reached the front of the three admirals and they just did one move and pushed him back, and that was, I was like, nah, bro, you can't. You have to be kidding me. But yeah, I don't
really even care about the fights in the Marineford. It's the results of the war that annoyed me.
Yeah, anyway, screw Luffy. I'm talking about villain. So my favorite villain before
did you just say screw Luffy?
Yes, I just did. That's what I was
saying.
That's
what Boa Hancock wants to do.
Actually, my favorite villain in One Piece is I would say Akainu, but he hasn't really shown much of himself besides killing Ace, and he seems to have a deep hatred. Don't give me, I've not watched One Piece, so don't give me spoilers. He seems to have a deep hatred for the pirates.
Actually, we haven't really gotten anything new. Or
even more than like normal. I'm doing my job. Kind
so
of
I couldn't
thing.
even spoil it for you if I wanted to.
Thank you, Jesus. But there's that guy from CP9 in the Water 7,
Rob Lucci,
which is still the best arc in the entire One Piece.
Rob Lucci as a villain.
Okay. But yeah, he was so cool.
Yeah, Rob Lucci actually fit into the whole villain bracket, like in a sense that he was hot. I mean, I love Arlong as a villain, but he didn't really have the hot factor going for him. Rob Lucci, on the other hand,
yep, he was hot.
He was hot.
Speaking of villains that were hot, what of our guy Duffy?
Okay, you see the thing about Doflamingo? A lot of people are attracted to Doflamingo. They like him. They're like, oh, Duffy's the girl. I like Duffy as a villain, but he's not hot. Please, let's be honest. The way he walks, even if you guys think it's iconic, it's just really weird. He has those
glasses. He wears that flamingo. I mean, come on.
Okay, we can say Duffy's
Have you taken a look at his pants?
Doflamingo likes
his hair.
I'm sorry, Duffy is not hot. He's fashionable, yes, because of his clothes, but he is not hot.
I don't know.
That face is not attractive. There is nothing attractive about Doflamingo's face.
That's something, given that that's the truth for 99.9999% of One Piece characters.
There's nothing attractive about Doflamingo. I'm just going to ignore that comment right now because he clearly doesn't know what he's saying. But
there are like only 10 characters in the entire One Piece that are drawn properly.
Is not. Yeah, because like most people in One Piece don't have normal proportions. It's like the whole thing. It's like the whole point of One Piece. You're supposed to see weird characters. Yeah, it's the art style.
It's not bad. It's unique. It's better than that Isekai.
This might be weird, but another villain I really love for One Piece, I didn't even add this when I was coming up with villains, is Katakuri. I just have to say this. Katakuri,
I haven't even reached there.
Katakuri lived up to the hype.
I'm just going to cover my ears.
Yeah, sure. Cover your ears. It's not my fault. You're not caught up. But it's like a really old episode. It's like episode 800 or something, or episode 700 or something. So it's not a spoiler for people who watch One Piece. People who watch One Piece are over 1,000 episodes already. Katakuri lived up to the hype. Because when we're at Whole Cake Island, all the characters I saw... all the characters I saw were giving me, okay, these characters aren't as strong as I expected them to be. But when we got to Katakuri, especially with the hype they built up behind him, saying, oh, Katakuri is this, is that, he had like the best observation haki. He lived up to that. Man gave Luffy the fight of his life. And also, he also gave Luffy one of the hypest moments in Whole Cake Island where Luffy broke that mirror. That was when I started to see Luffy in a new light, because I never saw Luffy as attractive. I only saw him as this goofy main character.
I didn't know how you reached here.
Up until that point where Luffy broke the mirror, I was like, ooh, daddy.
Man. Anywho, screw Katakuri. I don't know him.
You wish you could screw Katakuri.
Okay, thank you. That's enough. Now let's go into... We've been talking about shonen villains a lot.
Yeah.
But what about villains that are not from shonen?
You talked... villains that are not from shonen.
Have you heard of Makishima Shogo?
Psychopath?
Yeah, that guy from Psychopath. That guy was...
Yeah, okay, the thing about this guy is that...
He was him.
He was just so evil.
Yes.
I feel like there's something about how evil this guy was that just hit me the wrong way. I think that's the reason why when I'm thinking of villains, he actually crosses my mind often. I'm like, how do you even do that?
Like... I don't know if you watch Psychopaths, you guys listening.
Especially because of the way the world in Psychopaths is designed. The fact that someone like Makishima existed.
The scene that was bust my head the most was when he was killing a girl and then his Psychopaths, I think it's Psychopaths, that's what they call it now. Yeah, it was dropping. Like your psychopath is your tendency to commit a crime. You get, so the higher it is, they just arrest you before you commit the crime and all that.
Yeah,
but these guys, now
disasters.
he bypassed the system, and he was just, free to commit crimes. Their guns can't shoot you unless your psychopath is high,
which means the guns are useless on him. It's like you could point that shit
so
at him.
He was killing somebody, and his psychopath, she was trying to shoot. The gun was telling her, oh, his psychopath is so, you can't shoot. And then she will lower it, and she try and shoot again, and then it will be lower than his psychopath will be lower than the first time, and he just killed
like
this
the
girl.
bad guy is right there, he's coming closer,
And he's
right
smiling.
there, and you can't hurt him because your weapons are useless. Which is why I love when they brought like real weapons into this thing.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I swear to God, if you bring out that useless computer voice gun again.
Nah, if you haven't seen Psychopath, you should. And Psychopath Shogo reminds me of this girl from Babylon. Have you seen Babylon?
No, I haven't seen Babylon. You're talking about the
Ai Magase. She would, I don't know how, I don't know if there's going to be Babylon season 2, but she would just whisper in your ear.
Just the fact that you said
would,
if there's gonna be a season 2 means I'm not gonna watch it. I'm sorry.
Nah,
I'm
you
tired
should watch
of
it.
watching
She
anime.
was airy, like she was very
doesn't have a
eerie.
season 2.
Her vibe was dark. It's been a while since I felt that kind of dark aura. She straps this guy's colleague to a table and chopped off her limbs one by one.
Okay, that sounds
And she
lovely.
could just whisper in, like that was the thing, she would whisper in somebody's ear and nobody knows what she would say, but that person would want to commit suicide just like that. I mean, if you haven't seen Babylon, it's dark, very dark, but
See, I love female villains actually.
you should see Babylon.
They're rare, but damn, they get the job done.
Yep. Well, still that's psychological thriller, but insane. And I watched Monster sometime last year, so of course our guy Johann Liebert. Lola, have you seen
Murderers.
Monster?
I still haven't finished it because I stopped Monster to watch Made in Abyss.
Oh, Made in Abyss is cool too.
Yeah,
it's okay, but Monster is superior. I'm sorry.
yeah, I get it. That's why I'm still watching it.
Well, yeah, Johann was the goat. He was turning people into criminals, and at first they would say, "Oh, this guy, like, he was untraceable. He was not alive in all the records. He would eliminate everything." And they would say, "Oh, it was this one guy like that got them the way to commit this crime," and nobody could trace who the guy was. And in my head, I was like, how is this guy just turning regular people into bad guys? I beg, I don't believe this thing. Which kind of writing is this? This story is not even making sense until he did it to one guy and they showed exactly how he ran the whole thing. And I'm like, wait.
Oh, it's one of those mystery villains where you don't actually know how or why they're doing anything until it gets to one point. You're like, wow, shit, this is mad. You know, there's a lot of stuff like that where they don't actually show the villains.
There are a lot
doing
of
bad
plot
stuff
twists in that Monster.
You're
a lot of plot
confused.
twists. Like, you should check Monster out if you haven't. But Liebert he's the guy.
Don't worry, I still
He's
have
him
Monster. So I'm definitely gonna watch.
Yep, I don't want to give too much spoilers, so I want you guys
You
to check
already
that one out.
spoiled the entire thing.
I didn't spoil the entire. Everybody knows he's the villain from like the first episode.
No, it's not about whether or not he's the villain. You just talk about how like people didn't know because a lot of people were saying this was this other guy that made them do it. So I pretty much expect that now.
Yeah, no, just watch it. I didn't give any spoilers. Don't worry. Anywho, still on the whole thing. There's I want to brush over Griffith because I haven't really read Berserk, but he's an iconic villain. Nobody can deny that one. He slide his niggas.
I don't know. I just started Berserk and I really like the naked fairy.
Okay, thank you very much. As I was saying, Griffith slide his guys and Guts hates him with his guts.
No. I'm not that far into
Essentially, he
Berserk
killed
yet, but I heard
everybody except
Griffith was
Guts.
gay.
Yeah, he was in some parts.
There's no such thing as some parts. He's just gay. You don't have to brush over it. Don't worry. It's not going to rub off on you if you admit that he's gay.
Nah, he is. I'm sorry.
Exactly. So Griffith is gay. That's actually the reason I started reading Berserk.
Congratulations.
I started reading because I was like, oh,
I mean,
he just
there's, I don't know if as I said, I'm not up to date. I was reading Berserk, but hearing of Kentaro Miura's death, it broke me.
And then you're wondering if you should keep going.
Yeah, I haven't recovered. But great news. They released a new chapter. Did they release or did they announce that they were going to release a new chapter?
They probably announced because if there was a new chapter, the news would be bigger than that.
Actually, yeah, probably.
Because Berserk fans are everywhere.
Berserk, that guy Griffith.
I mean, speaking of villains that were also, genius masterminds, we can't forget the GOAT, the one, the only Light, because now Light is who you guys think Eren is. When people are like, oh, he's a villain and an MC. No, Eren is not a villain.
Eren did nothing wrong, if you ask me. He's just killing people. I mean,
I'm sorry. It's a world where people die, okay? People kill people. Every member of the Survey Corp has killed someone.
I mean, he's just killing a significantly higher number of people. I mean, what?
It's not like Eren killing people makes him the bad guy, because he actually has a reason for what he's doing. Plus, it's war. People die. They know that there is war. People die in war. That's just how war works.
I mean, and they started first. It's just his turn.
Exactly. But Light Yagami lived in a working society like the way the world is today, and decided to be like, okay, I'm God, bitch.
I'm going to kill everybody.
I'm going to kill who I want to kill, because, like, I can fix this.
Because I can just write names. I mean, that guy was, like, when they say God, I mean, he was.
And the thing about Light Yagami is you start out liking him. Like you feel like he's doing. Yeah, you're like, this dude is a genius. He's helping, because you're looking at those criminals. You're like, they're gonna die anyway. Plus, he's just clearing up the trash of the world.
Mm-hmm. It was when he started interfering with his dad and his family and all that, and then did his sister die or something?
And then when he became obsessed with hiding his identity, that's when things really started to get crazy.
So if you think about it, it's all L's fault.
Please. Excuse me, L did not just magically come out and say, I want to start looking for Light. Light went too far with it, the whole killing thing.
He didn't even go too far before L started.
He should have been a lot more discreet.
I don't know, maybe. But he wanted to be God. I mean, why would he be discreet?
And the thing about Light is that it exposed the kind of mind most humans would have. Because let's be honest, if I find a death note, all it does is kill people. It's not a note that can give me money. It's not a note that can give me anything. Like, the basic function of the book
in the one shot, that guy, I don't know if you read the Death Note one shot. No, the guy got the Death Note and he tried to sell it. He tried to sell it, and I mean, I don't know.
I feel like the Nigerian in me would do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the very. I feel like the guy did the very same thing, but then the way
what if the person I'm selling it to kills me?
He wanted to sell it to Donald Trump.
Okay, wait, I feel like I read
You
that.
haven't read that. You should have read that. If you haven't read that, go and check it out. It's a very nice one shot.
Like, I read the Death Note manga, and now you said Donald Trump is starting to hit me. Like, wait, that sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I like that one shot.
It's a book that basically kills. So once you get your hand on that book, what are you gonna do? You kill. It's just that simple.
It's just business. Business.
And I want to make like a honorary mention, because I keep seeing him on.
It's not a list. You can just mention.
Yeah, I keep seeing him on every villain list, and I felt like I should point out Oikawa from Haikyuu. If you watch,
he's just a high school kid.
I mean, this is just a high school kid trying to make it to nationals. He didn't actually do anything or kill anyone or even injure anybody, but on a villain list I saw online, people actually seriously, and it wasn't as a joke, with their full minds, they put Oikawa in a list that had people like Doflamingo and Madara and Pain. And the whole time I was thinking, what?
Well, I did put Aomine in the form.
They didn't put Aomine, they put Oikawa.
I haven't watched Haikyuu that much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it doesn't make sense. Oikawa wasn't even that bad. He was just...
Well, did the main character's team play against him or not?
Yeah, they played against
villain.
him.
I hereby judge he's a villain. Sorry.
And he was just very good at basketball. In fact, he was a better setter
basketball.
than Kage.
Volleyball.
He was very good at volleyball. He was a better setter than Kageyama, if we're being very honest. But a lot of people would not want to admit that. The only reason they were able to defeat Oikawa was because of Hinata. And I said what I said. If you watch Haikyuu and you think Kageyama is better, you're just fooling yourself. Oikawa is always going to be better than Kageyama. That's why people think he's a villain, because he's that good. But he's not really a bad guy.
Oh, well. Speaking of... okay, no, there's no right way to segue from Oikawa to Frieza. I was trying to segue, but
you're like, oh, someone who has something in common.
Like, nah, there's
I don't think Oikawa is racist, though, so...
Frieza was... Oh, my God. Frieza is... You know how we say Eren? Frieza is like the Eren 2.0, because he actually, I mean, he did it, an entire planet. And
he was evil.
He called them monkeys. I
don't know.
He didn't sounds do it because he
was trying to protect anybody. He just did it because he wanted to.
And he could
do it.
And that his voice. Lola, give us Frieza's voice.
You monkeys! You can impossibly defeat me.
English dub Dragon Ball is it's on crack.
No, it's superb because I've heard the Japanese dub, and I'm like, okay.
No, then it
I
actually
usually like sub anime, but Dragon Ball in dub is so much better.
Goku's voice dub
Goku's voice.
Nah, it's not it. I'm sorry.
Goku's voice actors was like.
Why did they do that?
I feel like for characters like Naruto and Luffy to have female voice actors, it's okay because it fits the character design.
And they actually kind of sound like men.
But Goku is this buff character with all this power, and then you're hearing coming out of that mouth. It's so weird. It's supposed to be a deep voice.
So it is, in fact, what it is, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Another villain that we've not, there's another anime we've not mentioned any villain from, and that is the real anime of the year last year. Bleach, of course.
Oh my god, I almost forgot. And let's talk about my baby, because
who's that?
When it comes to villain and I say Bleach, who do you think I'm talking about?
Aizen.
Exactly. I'm sorry, but when he changed his hairstyle, the first time Aizen was introduced as a captain with the glasses and the loser hair, I was like, okay, this guy doesn't look so good. And then the next thing, he dies. And I said, oh, it's one of those characters that die at the beginning. But things change. Because not only...
It's amazing what taking off your glasses and flipping your hair can do.
I know.
Superman
and then just letting one fall in front and you're like, oh damn.
Superman can say something about that. But yeah, that guy was so cool. And his plans were so well done. People can try and troll and say, yeah, according to my plan. But no, this guy thinks we're according to his plan. He didn't like the mistakes at all. I don't know how to put it right. Even him losing at the end of that act to Ichigo was just an asshole. It was just a thing, But that guy was the goat. He was the goat. He planned everything so perfectly. Even from
I think my favorite thing about Aizen is the way he looks down on other people.
Remember when Aizen came and he just flash stepped and tapped Ichigo's chest and he was like, see? I can reach your heart right now as we're talking.
It's that easy.
Or when he talked to Hiraku and he basically, the whole monologue was great. Bleach monologues are something else, but he told Hiraku basically that kings look up to gods and people look up to kings look up to gods and all that. And then they look up to these people because they are better than them and they are higher than them. Then after he finished all that, he now told Hiraku that, don't look up to me now. I will first show you. I forgot what he said he would show him. He was basically just saying that after I beat you, then I will become a god, and then that's when you can now look up to me. Something like that.
Just fearless.
He's the goat.
He's fearless.
Nah, he's
awesome.
There's Yuhavak is another villain.
Hot, so
Yuhavak is another villain, but we've not seen it yet.
Yeah, so let's not get into that because you're already starting.
I don't spoil it for guys because Yuhavak is another thing.
You're
stepping
something
into
else. Spoiler base.
It's something else. My God.
There.
Oh, yeah, and my final entry for villains.
Who's that?
Dio Brando. Arguably, no. To me, he is the most iconic anime villain. That guy is he's too villain. Imagine writing a character that was just evil from birth. It's not like as if, there's some characters that say, this guy is just a bad guy, like how we said with Frieza. But Dio, since when they gave it to him, he has been evil. Like that's just how he is.
He has born that way.
Yeah, he has his own theme. He has his own catchphrases, muda, Zawado, and all that stuff.
It's so sweet when JoJo characters scream.
Nah, Dio is mine. Nah, sorry, tears are just coming out my
you're
eyes.
gay for Dio, I get it.
No, I didn't say anything like that. Please.
You're into Dio.
I have a girlfriend.
And she's willing to share you with Dio.
No, but I don't think she is. She has never even heard about Dio.
I'm sure she will
She doesn't watch anime.
Oh my god, you have failed.
Nah.
As an otaku, how is your girlfriend not watching anime?
It is what it is.
I'm sorry, but Go away.
Yeah, she's watching Demon Slayer, but then again, she's watching Demon Slayer since January. So I
Oh
don't
my
know.
god, please. Why would you start her off with Demon Slayer?
I thought it was cool.
I don't know why people think Demon Slayer is a good anime to start off on. I'm not even gonna get into that now because Demon Slayer fans are very, very, very active these days.
Active.
I'm serious. There was this anime World Cup filter on TikTok, and you had to pick one anime over the other. So I picked One Punch Man over Demon Slayer, and I swear to God, everybody in the comments wanted to come from my head. They were like, "Imagine picking One Punch Man over Demon Slayer."
I mean, actually,
God! Wait, I know, but I just
imagine picking One Punch Man.
I actually just like One Punch Man.
Yeah,
it's
I
all
know,
about
I
my
know.
favorites. So it's
They are
like
basically the same thing, but Demon Slayer.
but the way
animation is
everybody
clear.
in the comments was just screaming, you just said animation, but they were in the comments like Demon Slayer should have made it to the finals. Like
finals
we
of
had,
what?
there was Full Metal Alchemist. And
They are
then
very
someone
mad.
said-
Fullmetal Alchemist, I didn't want to hear any other
Yeah,
thing. Fullmetal Alchemist is the winner.
There were literally people in the comments going, "Why would she pick Full Metal Alchemist over Jujutsu Kaisen?" And I was just like,
What is this world coming to?
I said, like, most people who are into the new gen anime, like JJK and Demon Slayer, they just do not even want to hear.
If I get into
that
JJK,
someone has an
you will not
anime.
be able to hold me. But it's okay.
You know, we're going to get into this topic next time, not today, because we've taken a lot of time, and I'm sure you guys want to get back and do other stuff.
Or you were just listening to this podcast as you were doing all that stuff, which is the same thing to do. I mean, why would you just sit down and listen to a podcast? Like, you should do it while you're washing dishes or
Emmanuel,
something.
is that what you're doing?
Well, yeah, anywho, we'll see you guys next week.
And of course, if there are other villains you feel we failed to mention, feel free to let us know in the comments. We're gonna read them and tell you why your villains suck. So,
Yeah, we're going to do just that. See you guys next week. I have been Banana Warrior, and she has been the sidekick of.
I'm nobody's sidekick.
Yeah,
Please.
she has been my sidekick.
I
See
am
you guys
nobody's
next
sidekick.
week.
I'm Zoro's wife.
Yes, you can do both. You can multitask.
Sayonara.